Yo guys, what's going on? Blossoms back. Welcome back to the legendary recap of 2024. We do this once a year, so it's an annual kind of thing. And today we're going to be talking about and looking back at all the legendaries that we have won and unpacked in the year of 2024. Now, I want to start off today's video with some good news, but of course, feel free to sit back, relax. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to give out some awards, we're going to do some tier lists, and I'm going to give you a little bit of stories about what were the best and worst legendaries that I unpacked this year. So, let's start off with the numbers, okay, the good news. I've been tracking every single legend I pulled for the last 5 years, okay, half a decade of legendary tracking, okay. So in 2020 we pulled 45 legends, which averages about 3.7 legends a month, and in 2021 we pulled 57, which is the third highest that I've ever done. 2022 was a drop, went back down to 47. 2023 I pulled 69, which was nice, but also my highest pull ever of legendaries. That averaged to 5.67 legends a month. But in 2024 we broke that record. We pulled 75 legends, well, pulled slash win, and that amounted to 6.25 legendaries a month. Honestly, I don't think we can beat that this year. 75 legendaries. I mean, you know what? That's what I said when I scored 69 in 2023. I didn't think that we were going to be able to beat that, but we did. So let's see what 2025 has in store for us. Right now, no legends on the table. I've not pulled any this year, but we have 75, and these are the 75 cards that we're going to talk about today. So this is how today's video is going to work. Each month, we're going through month by month, from Jan all the way to December. We're going to start with the recap, and then we're going to move on to the tier list, and then I'm going to give out the awards, okay? So I'm going to give out 3 awards per month. My favorite legendary from, you know, my personal bias, my MVP, which I think is what is the most useful legendary that I pulled that month, and last but not least, we have something called the Val Awards. We will get to that when we get to that, but it's basically the most, I would say, the legend that has given me the most anguish. The most stressful legend that I've pulled of the month, the one that isn't really good. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about the ultimate awards, where we talk about the best legends and their nominees from the year itself. So without further ado, let's get it started with January. So January 2024, we pulled 8 legendaries, all of which you see on the screen right here. I pulled 2 McLaren 720Ss. I remember that was just crazy, because I've never pulled the 720S before. This is an OG McLaren that has been in the game since the beginning. And this was the first time I ever pulled it, and I pulled it twice. Honestly, whenever I pull duplicates, they come really close to each other. We won the Hyundai, we won the Nissan, we pulled another Viper, another Veyron as well, duplicate Veyron. We pulled a Huracan and a Lancer Evolution. Now the Huracan and the Lancer were the 2 first legends that we pulled of 2024. So here is the tier list. As you can see, we're not using Tier Maker. This is actually my own creation. So we've got God, Weekend Car, Dusty, and Fused. So I fused a lot of legends now. I don't really care about legend counts. I used to care about legendary count, like how many legends you have in your garage. I'm not about that anymore. If you're a duplicate legend and I feel like I'm never going to use you, I will fuse you. If I'm not going to use you, I will fuse you. I like that. Keep that as a caption. Because I do see the value in saving 3 epics. So anyway, the only legend I fused away was, ironically, the Dodge SRT Viper. Why would Blossom ever fuse away a Dodge? Well, this was a very recent fuse. It survived almost the entire year. I fused it away during the final. The most recent final for the Automobili. So, you know, I wanted to save 3 epics. I'm glad I did, because this Viper, I don't think it's going to be very useful. It loses to the Camaro ZL11LE, which is an epic. And I'm saying a fully upgraded version loses to a fully upgraded epic. I have this car fully upgraded, because obviously it's Bollywood, and it's just, yeah, it's not that good. Dusty cars, we've got the Lancer and both 720Ss. If I pulled this 720S, like, you know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, would be one of the best legends in my garage. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So it's just collecting dust in there. They're both still stock in my garage, if I remember correctly. The Bugatti Veyron and the Lamborghini Huracan, they're weekend cars-ish. The Bugatti Veyron I use for 1 daily. I think it's the 2000s daily with like the 1 mile in test bowl, something like that, longer drags. Lamborghini Huracan Coupe, I used it recently for the 2014 final, which was like a month ago. And then 2 really god-tier cars that I pulled this month. Both won. Nissan R85 and the Hyundai PM580. Both cars I have slightly upgraded. Both cars I use so so often. They win me a lot of events, or at least I finish very competitively in any event where these cars are eligible for, because I have them. I can use them. They get me value. Anyway, here are my awards. So the best car that I pulled is the Nissan R85. I think this was fantastic. I really enjoy it. One of the best Japanese cars I have in my garage because I'm not an owner of the 787B. My MVP goes to the Hyundai Genesis. This thing is phenomenal. And the Val Award, the Val Approves Award, goes to the Lamborghini Huracan Coupe. Now, why this car has given me the most anguish was because I had to spend 3 epics to upgrade that thing. And I just don't like that. Like I said, it won me a prize car, but who cares? The prize car it won me was the Mitsubishi MI-EV. I won the prize car to win a prize car. That's about it. It's not even a good prize car. So I upgraded the Legend to win a prize car that I didn't really want for the sake of winning. Yeah, that caused me a little bit of anguish. I'm going to give that the Val Approves. You would realize that most of the legendaries that I fused away doesn't get the Val Approve award because I actually think fusing away a legend brings a lot of value to me. You know, it's like a sacrificial death. An honorable one. But yeah, the Lamborghini, it's still here in my garage until this day. I've not used it for the entire year, all the way up to the 2014 final. Had to upgrade it, and I don't think I'll be using it for another year, so oh well. Anyway, moving on to February, we pulled /1 for Legends. I think we pulled 2 and we won 2. So God tier, nothing. I don't think any legend that we pulled in February was God tier. The Citroen is a weekend car. I mean, it's alright, but I've got the Escudo fully upgraded, the Suzuki Escudo, which is my go-to off-roader. So the Citroen C4, honestly, it didn't even win me a single Tri-Series, you know? It might have won a lot of people the Tri-Series with the Automobili, but since I had the Panamera, I utilized the Panamera instead, which was the better option anyway. So the Citroen doesn't really have any prize car accolades to its name. Ultima, I mean, it might have some, like, challenge. I think it might have a challenge prize car, but when it comes to Tri-Series prize cars, I track those. I track my hands for those. Citroen didn't win anything. Ultima, Janetta, Ariel, they're all dusty. They're all sitting in my garage stock. I don't use them. In terms of the awards, I guess the best car goes to the Citroen. The MVP also kind of goes to the Citroen, although it didn't really win me a Tri-Series prize car. It might have won me a challenge here or there or something. I feel like it did. It was useful in something, I think. And then the Janetta. They gave me the most anguish, mainly because, like, I don't like the photo, and I just don't ever remember winning it. I genuinely, it's such a forgettable car. I don't even remember that I own it sometimes, so yeah, that gets the Val Approve tag award. Anyway, moving on to March. March was a pretty good year. March, we had 6 cars. We pulled a lot of radicals, pulled 3 radicals, Radical SR3, the SR3 RS, the RXC V8, and then for the other legendaries, pulled the Porsche Mission R, Bentley Continental, and of course the McLaren F1. So in terms of the tier list, once again, I don't think any legendaries deserve God tier. None of these legendaries help me too much. Weekend core, I mean, the radicals, they've won me a couple of prize cars here and there. Mission R, you know, from time to time I might utilize it in Porsche clubs. And then for Dusty, I've got the Radical SR3, the McLaren F1, and the Bentley Continental. All 3 cars in my garage are still stock. Not a single upgrade in any of them. Anyway, moving on to the awards once again. So the best car I would say is the Porsche Mission R, mainly because it's a Porsche. MVP goes to the Radical SR3 RS, and the reason why it's getting MVP is because it actually won me a Tri-Series for the Mazda RX Vision GT3, as you can see below. If the car won me any Tri-Series this year, I'll put the Tri-Series prize car it won me below the award as well. And then the car that gave me the most anguish, I guess, was just the Bentley Continental GT3, because it was a Bentley. That was it, you know. You never really have fun pulling a Bentley, do you? You open a pack and you get that and you're just like, oh, you know, that's about it. You know, it's pretty offensive. All right, moving on. April, I pulled 7 legends, 2 of which are not showing up. The photos didn't decide to load here, but I think if I go to the tier list, they will all show up. There you go. So here's my tier list of all the cars I pulled in April. I pulled 7 legends. Got 2 cars in God tier: Draco GTE and the Chevrolet Corvette C8R. In terms of weekend cars, we got the BMW 745. It's only in the weekend car category from recency bias because I had to, you know, max the handling for this to win the Volvo. I think the Huracan that we got in January is also a weekend car due to recency bias. I don't think I'll be using it for another year. The Zenvo Aurora, honestly, not God tier. I would still rather use the Aurora Tour or even the Automobiles, or even the Koenigsegg's, or even the Hennessy. So I have a lot of better options over the Zenvo. It's a good car, but I have better options, so it's a weekend car in my opinion. Now, talking about dusty cars, we've got the 911, the Brabham BT63, and the Lancer, all of which, besides my Brabham, are still stock. The Brabham is 1-star, and then of course for legendary that were fused away, the Range Rover Velar SVA. That wasn't even fused, that was sold. I sold it on site because that's how mad I was at getting that. So you might think, oh wow, if I sold it on site, it would win the Val Choice Awards, right? But no! No, it actually doesn't. Here are the awards over here. So the best car I pulled was the Corvette C8, also nicknamed as Wyatt. It's still not fully upgraded. I'm sorry, Wyatt. It did win me a prize car. The Zenvo Aurora, which I pulled in the same month. The Draco GTE wins MVP. It won me 2 prize cars back to back, I believe. The Mazda RX Vision GT3, as well as the Koenigsegg Yamera HVA. And then last but not least, the car that gave me the most anguish, that gives me the Val Approves Award, is the Brabham BT63. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can't remember the order of events, but it was something to do about missing out on the Alfa Romeo Coloni and then being eligible for the Bugatti Devo finals, but it wasn't good enough and it was losing. So basically what I remember about this car was that I pulled it too late to win a prize car that I wanted, but I pulled it in time to see it lose for another prize car I wanted. I think it was the Devo and Coloni. I think it was around that time. I really wanted the Coloni. I mean, I'm glad that the MRA on that thing sucks, because if the MRA on the Coloni was fantastic, I'd be missing out on a really wonderful prize car. But, you know, that being said, the handling is still great, and I still want that car. So, you know, the Brabham just ended up being a huge disappointment for me. When I needed it, it wasn't there, and then when I had it, it wasn't useful. So for that, it definitely deserves the Val Approved tag. Honestly, one of the worst, most troll cars. And since then, by the way, I've never used my BT63 in anything. It's not been useful in any kind of event. It's not been eligible in any kind of event. I don't use it in clubs. I forget that I own it. So yeah, the Brabham BT63 definitely deserves the Val Approve award. Now, moving on to May. Only 3 legends, so not a lot. We'll go through this super quickly. The Yamera, clearly god tier. The CTS and the RX Vision are both weekend cars. Cadillac I use pretty often in Cadillac clubs, and the Mazda is one of my better Japanese cars. My Japanese legendary collection is not that strong. My strongest legendary cars include like the Nissan that I pulled in Jan, and then the Mazda that I pulled here. I won both Mitsubishi MI EVs, and both of which are completely useless. Oh, another very useful Japanese legend I have is the Nissan GTR LM Nismo. That's a great one too. Anyway, this is a pretty boring one. The best car was the Koenigsegg, and my MVP was the Koenigsegg. And you know, there wasn't really any car that gave me a lot of anguish this month. I only pulled 3 legendaries after all, so there wasn't really anything great. So here's a photo of Finn McMissile. And if you've made it to this part of the video, feel free to comment, I saw Finn McMissile down in the comments below, so I know you an OG. Okay, but yeah, we're just gonna put Finn McMissile over there because no car gave me any anguish. I actually didn't pull a single legend in May. All 3 cars were 1. Right? The Mazda, I want it. The Koenigsegg, I want it. The Cadillac, I want it from the American Overdrive trials. So, yeah. Alright, moving on. June! Okay, more photos just decided to disappear. Fine. I don't know what's going on with Canva today, but, you know, some of my cars just don't want to show up. But we got them. We got them here, as you can see in the tier list. So, I pulled, 7 legendaries, none of which, in my opinion, were god tier. Again, the Skoda Fabia Rally is good. If I can max it out, that's like 99 handling or 100 handling, something like that. That being said, I have the Escudo. I have the Suzuki Escudo fully upgraded, and I will always use that over anything else that I have. So as long as I'm using my Escudo, and as long as that's a better car, Skoda Fabia is a weekend car. I don't use it that often. Also, it is a Skoda, so we don't get Skoda clubs, we don't get Czech Republic clubs, we don't get a lot of Czech Republic events, and usually when we have a Skoda event, it wouldn't allow this because it would just be like all wet or like all gravel, or just there would be another brand that Skoda is paired up with which is better, and you would use that brand anyway. Or the RQ is too low, and the Skoda Fabia RQ, I mean, is way too high, 93, something like that. Like, I don't get to use my Skoda Fabia a lot. It has been useful in some cases, but not as much as I would have liked. Cars collecting does include the Radical, the Bentley, the Porsche Macan, and the Chevrolet Beast, and the Evo was fused away. I've pulled this car twice in the same year, one in Jan, that one I kept. And then this one that I pulled for this month, I've obviously fused away. The Radical SR10, I remember that one. Giselle pulled that for me from a ceramic pack. That was pretty great. Anyway, The awards. The best goes to the Bentley Flying Spur. That might come to a surprise, but this was a Bentley that I really wanted. I'm a saloon collector. It's medium ground clearance. And if I pulled it like 3 years earlier, it might have won me another prize car as well. I can't remember what it was, but it was like a 5-seater UK event or something like that. MVP, I would still give it to the Skoda. And the car that's given me the most anguish actually is the Chevrolet Beast. That thing is useless. It loses to epics. Sometimes even ultra rares. It's terrible. And yeah, you can get a little bit more value out of it if you max the handling on that, but I'm not gonna max the handling of an RQ85 Chevrolet Beast. I mean, it's not smart of me to max the handling on a Chevrolet Beast when I have things like the Skoda Fabia, which is like right there next to it on the screen, which I have, you know, not upgraded yet. You know, if I was gonna max the handling of a four-wheel drive off-roader car, I would go for the Fabia. I would never go for the Beast. And there are many other options I would choose above the Beast. So, yeah, the Chevy Beast is just terrible. It's bad. So, yeah, that's getting the Anguish Award. Okay, moving on to July. Wow. All right, give me a second. I'm just gonna refresh this because too many photos are dying on me. Okay, we're back and the photos are back. And of course, I've turned on my camera as well so you can see Val's face for the rest of the video. So July, pulled 7 legendaries. It was the year or the month of red, wasn't it? A lot of red legends we pulled this month. So let's go to the tier list. The Nissan GTR R35 was fused away. Once again, most of these legends that you see I fused away, well, not most, all of the legends that you see fused away are duplicates. I would only fuse them away if I want to utilize saving 3 epics. So the GTR was fused. Cars collecting dust included the Citroen C4, the Koenigsegg CCXR, and the Mitsubishi Mi-EV Evolution 3. Weekend car goes to the Porsche 911 Turbo S. By the way, that's only getting used because I like it. And I'm just using it out of pity in clubs. But I get a lot of use out of it just for fun. It's okay, you know, it's like a mid-tier legend at best. Now, God cars, Peugeot 206 WRC. And the Automobili Pininfarina Battista. Both of these cars have given me fantastic value. In terms of the awards, the Porsche 911 gets the best because it's easy. Give me a 911 Turbo and it's the way to my heart. Okay, this is not the first 911 Turbo that you will see winning the best award this year. I love the car. It was always gonna win. The MVP obviously goes to the Automobili Pininfarina Battista. The car is fantastic. It's a great fast circuit car, decent dragster as well. Obviously now with the Automobili Pininfarina Anniversario, it's going to complement this car very well. They are the same on the drags. It's just that the other version has one more handling and that's it. And obviously the Val Approve Award goes to the Mitsubishi Mi-EV because what the hell is that car? Seriously, what the hell is that prize car? Why the hell is that RQ99? It's actually ridiculous how that's 99. It's useless. It's completely useless. Terrible price car. All right, moving on to August. August was a pretty crappy month, I would say. It was the month of the RQ80s. We pulled 3 different RQ80s: Continental, 911 Targa, Audi TT, which I absolutely hate. I hate that Audi TT so much. We pulled it. It's useless. It's an Audi. It's 4-wheel drive. Doesn't handle. No 0 to 60. No MRA. Lost me a prize car. It's a jack of all trades in the bad sense of things. It's terrible. It's checked off the bingo board of crap. The Comfort Polo. That was from a ceramic pack. And then of course we got the Zenvo Aurora Tour as well. In terms of tier list, the God car, Zenvo Aurora. That thing is fantastic. I love it. Weekend car, Charger Daytona Scat Pack. Mainly because it's the only 4-wheel drive Dodge that I can utilize, or muscle car, wet car that I can utilize. Cars collecting dust include my duplicate Gumpert Polo, Porsche 911, Audi TT. Only reason why the Gumpert Polo has not been fused away, I still have both Gumpert Polos because that's a duplicate to me, is because Giselle pulled that. It was from the video where she did the opening and I was calling on Discord from my own bathroom and she pulled this legend. I remember that, and I'm not going to fuse that legend away because Giselle pulled it. That's it. And then obviously the Bentley Continental was a duplicate and that was fused. Anyway, awards. Best and MVP goes to the same car, Zenvo. I mean, most of the legends that we pulled this month was underwhelming anyway. And then the Val Approves award goes to the Audi TT. I mean, that car is contender for one of the worst legends that we pulled this year. Seriously, one of the worst. Okay, moving on to September. September was a fantastic month. Probably my best month for legendaries in terms of the cars that we pulled. We pulled Audi R6, not a great start. But then we pulled a McLaren 765 LT, the Peugeot Proxima, and the Peugeot L500R. Those 3 cars came in like a day apart, and absolutely fan. I loved every single one of those, right? One's a 2-star legend, one's a max legend. We won the Radical SR10, we pulled the Audi RS3, Lamborghini Gallardo, and the Citroen DS3 to cap the month off as well. In terms of God cars, all 3 of them, the McLaren, McLaren, the Peugeot, and the L500R have been invaluable to my garage over the course of, the last 6 months. These cars have been phenomenal. No weekend cars, and then the rest of these are collecting dust, all of which are still stock. These are screenshots from my own personal garage. So the Audi, the Citroen, the Audi again, the Radical, all these were just screenshots taken from my garage today. As you can see, they're all still stock. And the Gallardo was fused because that was a duplicate. The photo that I took is the Gallardo that I still have, but obviously I pulled another one and I fused that one. Anyway, best car, McLaren 765. It won me the Ford Supervan 4 as well, so shout out to that. The MVP, the Peugeot L500R, won me 2 prize cars. Won me the Radical SR10 as well as the Automobili Pininfarina, 2 separate tri-series. And of course, the meme car that we pulled this month was the Lamborghini. I mean, I think I fused it away almost instantly after getting it. That's how bad it was. But yeah, this was a great month for Legends. I was really happy getting the 765, and the L500 is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now moving on to October. Okay, so October, 8 more prize cards that we pulled, 5 of which came on the same day because it was like the 5 legend pack thing. Remember the 7th anniversary thing, which was the Audi, the McLaren, the Audi again, the Pagani, and the Ultima. We pulled 4 Audi legends in the last 2 months, and I just don't like seeing that. But honestly, let's look at the tier list. God tier, Bugatti 110. I do get a lot of use out of it. It's my second best Bugatti after the Chiron Sport, which I have upgraded. Weekend car status goes to the Chevrolet Corvette Z06 and the Ultima GT 640. The Ultima, a little bit disappointing. It was not good enough for the Christmas collection challenge for the 90 plus legend, but I don't really blame it for that because that Christmas challenge was incredibly tough. I can't blame it for it. Like it was so bad. Cars collecting dust include the 911 Turbo S 3.8, Audi R8 V10, and the Pagani Huayra Tricolor. And then the legends that I fused away include the McLaren F1 GT and the Audi RS3. So both legends I've actually fused away. I'm telling you, man, I fuse a lot of legends nowadays. I don't care. I really don't. But anyway, best car goes to the 911 Turbo S 3.8. I'm always happy when I pull a 911 Turbo. I've already told you this already, and I said that you're gonna see it again. It's just a car that is just straight to my heartstrings, right? So although I've never used it, although it's stocked, although it's not been useful in anything for me, I don't care. I'm really happy that it's in my collection. I'm really happy I pulled it, and yeah, it's one of my favorite cars in my garage. Bugatti 110 is the clear MVP, and obviously the Audi RS3 wins the Anguish Award. It gave me a lot of pain because I didn't like it, right? I pulled it once last month, and here we are pulling the same thing again from the first legend from that 7th anniversary pack. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a worse car to get, a 4-wheel drive Audi. It might be useful in this upcoming Icon variant challenge. I still have one lying around, so we'll see. Anyway, moving on to November. November got 5 legendaries entering the garage. The Peugeot Inception, the Draco Dragon, the Citroen Xantia, the Volvo EX30, and the Lamborghini Lanzador. In terms of God status, 3 of them. The Xantia, Lanzador, Draco Dragon. All fantastic legendaries. Weekend cars goes to the Volvo EX30 and the Peugeot Inception. Honestly, if I can max the handling on the Volvo EX30, that might become God tier for me. That might become invaluable for me. And that was why I was bothered to actually spend 6 epics in upgrading that BMW 7 Series to get the Volvo. Because although it's a really boring prize car, I see the value that it might bring to the table as a, standard tire car, the lowest 0 to 60 in the game. Inception, it won't be a price car, so, I'll put it up there for now. It's slightly upgraded as well. In terms of the awards, I'm going to give the Draco Dragon the best. The MVP goes to the Lanzador, because the Lanzador did win me the Ford Supervan 4. And of course, I mean, the car that gave me the most anguish is still the EX30. I don't think it's a bad car. It's boring, and I had to spend 6 epics to get it, so that kind of sucked. So yeah, that gets the award for the Anguish Award. Anyway, moving on to December. The last month of the year, we pulled 6 legends. 1 was unpacked. No, 2 were unpacked, and the rest were all 1. So the Koenigsegg CCXR, the second time I pulled it this year. McLaren 765 LT, second time I pulled it this year. Ford Supervan 4 that we won. Audi TT, Mitsubishi MI-EV, and of course the Automobili Pininfarina Battista Anniversario. In terms of the tier list, God status, obviously the 2 prize cards that were given out. I mean, wow, what a fantastic back-to-back tri-series win. I mean, they're not back-to-back because that stupid Mitsubishi was in between. But a 105 and a 108, wow, that's 3 tri-series in the same month, isn't it? And I got all 3 of them, which was pretty cool. And then a weekend card goes to the 765. My first 765, which is 2-star, is God tier. because it's 2 stars. This one, it's slightly upgraded. Also, because it's a duplicate, I think I'll use it a little bit less, so weekend car status. The Audi and the Mitsubishi are going to collect dust, and then the Koenigsegg CCXR was a duplicate, so I fused it away. In terms of the awards, the best car goes to the Automobile Pininfarina. I mean, it's gotta, right? It's a prize card that I won on my birthday. Like that, it doesn't get any better than that. MVP goes to the McLaren, because the McLaren won me the Ford Supervan 4, and then the meme car goes to the Mitsubishi MI-EV once again, because seriously, like, well, who's ever going to use that ever at all? Anyway, we move on to the Ultimate Awards, and then we end up the video. These are going to be the most, important cars of my year. What is my favorite legendary that I pulled this year? What is what I deem to be the biggest MVP of the year in terms of all the legends that I pulled, and of course the biggest meme of the year. Okay, so put your predictions on the comments below. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live. There we go. So the best legend, let's talk about honorable mentions. Honorable mentions are at the bottom. So top 3 legends I pulled this year, in my opinion: the Chevrolet Corvette C8R. Well, not top 3, but I guess top 3 favorites: the Chevrolet Corvette C8R, the Porsche 911 Turbo S. Really like that one. I just really liked it. I know it's stock, I know it's collecting dust, I don't care, I just really like that pull. But you cannot beat that Automobile Pininfarina, a prize card that lands directly on my birthday. Such a legendary final, the most expensive final I've ever invested. I mean, so many stories to tell. One of the hardest finals I've had in a very long time. One of the hardest brackets I've had in a very long time. We ended tier 1. It was on my birthday. I mean, it was perfect. So, yeah, the Automobile is my favorite legend of the year. But my biggest MVP goes to the Draco GTE. Honestly, I pulled this from a ceramic. I think it was an American premium even, and it's just the gift that keeps on giving. I remember when I first pulled the Draco, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so useless because it's not part of the big American brands. Hutch is only gonna highlight Chevrolet and Dodge and Cadillac. Draco will never get its time to shine. I stood corrected. This thing has won me multiple Tri-Series. It's won me like other things. Like I think someone had it in a challenge. Was it what's her name? Maryland's collection, right? Maryland's collection. I think Draco GTE was one of the cards that you could use. This thing was fantastic. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. So that's my biggest MVP of the year. Honorable mention goes to the Peugeot L500R, which has won me the equal amount of prize cards in Tri-Series, and then the Hyundai Genesis PM580 that we got at the start of the year, which is also invaluable. And then last but not least, the biggest meme car of the year, and I've already said it earlier on in the video, goes to the Brabham BT63. The fact that I needed it for a prize car, which I believe was the Coloni, I was only one legend away from winning the Coloni, and I couldn't get it. And I opened many packs to try and get a legend, and I didn't get it, and I got this after losing out in the Coloni was a sting enough. And then the fact that it was eligible for the upcoming Tri-Series, but it wasn't good enough for me, and I lost the Tri-Series, made it even worse. The Brabham, like I said earlier on, it came at the wrong time, and when it became useless. And it's been useless ever since. I once started for whatever Tri-Series it was eligible for, and I've not used it in any event, any club event, nothing. It's won me no Tri-Series, no prelims, no quals, no ceramic event, nada. Nothing at all. Because usually when it's an Australian event, it's just learn the Savannah way, and the Brabham isn't, or is it? I can't remember, but maybe it's like Australian event 5-seater. Like it always centers itself around Holdens in the end, not the Brabhams. Yeah, the Brabham wasn't learn the Savannah way. The Brabham was Asia Pacific Grand Prix. So there you go. But yeah, anyway guys, that's gonna be it for today. That's the legendary recap of 2024, the best, the worst, and everything in between. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's see if we can break the record for 2025. I don't think so. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all